What is up, Niner gang? Hope everybody's having a great day today. And yeah, just having a good day. And maybe you guys heard some of the news, doing something a little off script today. I heard the 49ers just signed a veteran, 10-year veteran, Janoris Jenkins to the practice squad. He's a cornerback. And I'm gonna go over some of the stuff that he's done while he's been in the league about 10 years. He was a um 39th overall pick in the 2012 draft to the Rams. Like I said, he's been in the league for 10 years. So I'm not expecting anything too crazy, but something that's a little eye opening because I've continuously wanted the 49ers to bring in another outside corner, especially if you could bring in a savvy veteran. And so when I start going over some of the stats, I'm going to let you know why some of this stuff stands out to me. And I do have to still watch some of what Janoris Jenkins has done. I think what's more promising is the production he had last year. So, that's pretty cool. That's promising and encouraging. Gonna give a shout out to my boy Brian Culp right here, real quick. Throwing up the four flames in the chat. Always here, man. Always appreciate it. Thank you very much, bro. Hope you're having a great day and not working too hard. Working hard or hardly working. um, yeah, guys, I also threw the call-in link in the comments. So if anybody would like to call in and give their thoughts live, that'd be pretty cool. Or we could just talk about any other 49er stuff that's going on or how you guys feel about the game. Call-in link is right there in the comments. So feel free to click on the link and call in live. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. If you just want to give your thoughts through audio, that's cool. We can go back and forth and talk about some things, right? But yeah, man, so we get this veteran Janoris Jenkins. I'm going to start reading some of the stuff off to you guys because like I said, it's promising, the stuff that I'm seeing, right? Because overall for his career, 10 years in the NFL, he has 27 interceptions. And I wrote this in convenience as far as they had some other stats ahead of where I have these written, but I wrote some of the more important stuff ahead of that so I can read them off and you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because I don't think this is going to be a Josh Norman situation, but it could very well be. We're just going to have to see how that plays out with Dante Johnson as well. That's another guy who's still on the practice squad. But like I said, 10 years in the NFL, 27 interceptions in his 10-year career. That's pretty damn good, man. 7 forced fumbles as well. So really overall, he has 34 turnovers forced in his career. That's pretty damn good, right? If you average that out, that's about 3.5 per season. That's pretty good. It's not too shabby, man. We have a lot of guys on the squad that still haven't had an interception. So at least against first stringers, right? So there's that as well. He's also had 2 sacks, so this guy can rush the quarterback as well. That's cool. 124 passes defensed. That's pretty good. 124 passes defensed. And this is another pretty good stat, 575 tackles. Now, we do got to take into context, this was, over the span of 10 years. So I try to average it out, divide it by 10. That's your average per year. So that's how I kind of get that, and that's how I look at it. So it's still very promising when you take that down to about 57 and a half tackles per year. That's pretty damn good with one guy. That's one guy. So dude, he's sounding really good, but one of the best things right here is in 2021. So this going back to last year, this dude was on the Titans and he registered 54 tackles. Like I said, right? That was when I divided 575 tackles divided by 10 years. I averaged it out to about 57 and a half tackles right per year. This hits right on the money with the Titans last year in 2021. He didn't even play the full season last year. And he still got 54 tackles in 14 games, guys. So this could be a dude that can really help us out, man, and kind of help get Jimmy Ward back to his safety position as well. 6 passes defensed last year, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble. So I think and let me get to some of the comments real quick. Brian, I'm going to bring you in real quick. You ready? Brian, you ready? All right, cool.
Hey,
Okay,
man.
cool. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Oh, I'm loving it. That's just another
Right
win
on.
for us. We're stacking them
Hell
right
yeah.
now.
Bro, I swear like the 49ers are licking their chops after that Saints game. This is what I was getting to right now. I'm going to get to the comments right now, guys, so don't go away. I'm going to show you guys your love right now that you guys well deserve. But, the forced fumbles that we had in this game is something that is kind of coming back from, Josh Norman did it last year, but he would give up the stupid penalties and stuff like that to go with it too. So it was kind of a um net not net negative, what is it, net zero. But with them looking their chops on the turnovers that just happened against the Saints, I think they wanted to bring in a guy that can show that type of stuff, especially from a veteran standpoint. He had in 14 games last year, he had one interception and one forced fumble alone, so that's pretty good, I think. What do you think overall for bringing in Janoris Jenkins?
Well, a lot of people like to say stats don't mean anything, but when you're getting takeaways, you got to, stats are there for a reason. So,
Yeah,
over the tenure of his career, that's pretty good. It sounds like we might get even an old veteran. It sounds like we might get him. So, we need the turnovers any way we can get them.
yeah,
Richard Sherman came in, and I thought, he's going to teach these guys how to do it. And for a minute there, I thought we were starting to turn the corner. But yeah, right now bringing in people who can catch the ball because you've seen it. They had so many opportunities, and the ball's just going up in the air, and you got to get somebody who can come down with it. And I think if we would have had somebody last year, we would have made it to the Super Bowl. I think everybody
yeah.
would say that.
And this
So
is the thing too, because
yeah,
that's perfect what you're saying. And I love that he adds both elements because sometimes you get a guy that can peanut punch, and then you got another guy that can have that ball hawk mentality when it comes to interceptions, and he has that ball talent to himself. But this guy has both. He can force fumbles and he can intercept the ball. So that's great. The 49ers, just like a guy you just alluded to right now, Richard Sherman, they complimented him because they were playing zone, right? And he was already an older corner in the league, just like Janoris Jenkins. So the 49ers playing so much zone, if he does get acclimated into the defense at some point, I think is going to favor him to play that zone. He doesn't, with that age that he has in the league, I don't think he has to run around too fast.
no. And I think, just bringing in a veteran, sometimes bringing in a veteran wide receiver, a veteran corner, a veteran defensive
Yeah,
lineman, you bring up the rest of your team because they get to see, okay, they have that guy they can lean on a little bit. Okay, well, if he's not sweating, we shouldn't be sweating, right? Or
yeah,
it's just one of those things. So, but yeah, you're totally right. Norman, if he wouldn't have had the attitude, the penalties would have came. But he's good. He's great at punching that ball out. He comes up with the
yeah,
turnover. But we can't have the same
yeah,
toxicity. We can't have those penalties that come with it. So that's the
yeah,
thing. It's like kind of like To. He's a great player, but you don't want all that extra crap that comes with it. So,
yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, very much, man.
so what was
Let me give some of
what's your
these.
thoughts?
Oh, I love it, man. It's to the practice squad. He's probably going to get a veteran minimum. So, yeah, dude. If he gets any playing time, he's probably going to get the veteran minimum. So it's not going to cost us very much. We're giving him a shot to do something this year. Going back to like 2019 when they brought in Emmanuel Sanders, it changed how the wide receivers kind of saw things. And I know we already have Charvarius Ward. He's a veteran, pretty badass guy. Um, but yeah, dude, for the corners, I think this is going to be good. Diomedor, Diomedor Lenore and Sam Womack are still pretty young. So if they have two guys, especially when, let's say, in the postseason, they need some veteran savvy in the backfield. If him and Charvarius Ward are playing opposite of each other, I think that can lead to very great things, especially in like cover three. I'm going to bring in CG real quick. What up,
What's up,
CG?
man? Not much, man. I
What up,
was
bro?
at that game. I was at that game yesterday, man.
Yeah, you were. That's cool.
Yeah, I had. I don't know if you saw the. I don't know if you guys saw me with that residential you have, man. I just bought that. Like, pretty good. I guess they cost too much.
Which one?
Those residency SF ones, the ones that you see most content creators wear, like Jesse
Oh,
wears.
okay. I think I know what you're talking about. I'm not
Yeah,
too sure. Let me show
got me a
some of these
blame.
guys. Let me show some
Oh,
of these guys in the comments some love real quick. Cowboy Angel, thank you for being here as well, man. As always, really appreciate it. Hopefully the
um,
veteran presence will help our young DBs. Yeah, we're going over some of that stuff right now. I think it is going to help them, man.
I do
You,
think that the pickup. I do think the pickup is going to be temporary for him on the practice squad because I think they're going to give him a week to just process in the playbook. And then I think he'll eventually leap over Avery Thomas. And then if something happens with Lenore, he might be pushing that spot in. That's how I see it. Like, give it a week or two, then he should be able to get onto that playbook
that's what I'm saying. He might surpass Ambry Thomas.
easily,
I
bro.
think Dante Johnson might even be another guy that he's competing with because Dante Johnson isn't really somebody that we look at for turnovers and stuff like that.
Early
And
dog.
this guy gets a lot of tackles too. So I mean, he played 14 games last year, so I'm sure he's going to have the upper hand when it comes to just playing corner overall than
I
Ambry
mean,
Thomas is going to have.
the best case scenario is he could be a nice, solid pickup down the stretch. Worst case scenario, we get another damn Josh Norman, which we don't want. But
I don't think so, bro.
he's capable. He's
Yeah.
capable for sure.
Yeah, we definitely got to go back and watch some of the film from last year. But yeah, we're gonna have to see about how his legs look because I don't know why he played only 14 games. I don't know if it was an injury or they started out the season with somebody who went down and he stepped in for the last 14 games. I got to check in on that. But we got Raphael 5629ers in here. He says, "What's up, Niner Gang Wolfcast? Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for always being here, man. Glad to have you here. Like and subscribe, everybody. Yes, please. Would be great.
Yeah, yeah,
CG Ruthless. Go ahead.
yeah. Like I said, I think when I watched Janoris Jenkins' film from last year. He did made some key plays, like even against the Niners during that Thursday night game. He made that key play. If you didn't notice that play, that was the play that was still in the game. I think that was when he got the interception, I believe.
Yeah, I don't. The only part I remember from the Titans because it was pissing me off so bad was the 3rd and longs that were getting converted that our defense was giving up, and then Antonio Brown. Yeah, and not Antonio Brown. What's his name?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. My bad. What do you think, Brian? You got any thoughts on any of that, bro?
Well, I wanted to ask CG. You were there at the game yesterday, so did you get to see? Did it seem like Jimmy was getting hit later after the ball was being thrown out? Because I was watching it from the TV, and it seemed like he was getting hit a lot. So what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, you mean Juwan Jennings?
No, no, no.
No.
See, Jimmy G.
Oh,
When
Jimmy
he was
G. Oh, okay,
dropping
yeah, he
back,
was getting
do you think
he
he was
was getting
getting?
oh he was getting hit pretty hard, bro. That offensive line was giving up some pressures, bro. Like Aaron Banks wasn't playing like his usual, bro, where he doesn't give up pressure. He's giving up the most pressure in this game. The Saints defensive line was all over the field, bro. The only thing I was more upset about was that the defensive tackle didn't even get ejected for a fucking hit in the knee. Like Jimmy would have, dude, that hit on the hit from Jimmy Garoppolo from roughing the passer, you got to automatically call it ejection. Like, okay, 15-yard penalty, that's fine, but that guy should have been kicked off the game. If you're more
Well, that's
concerned about protecting your quarterback, then you got to do the same. Dude, I don't understand. Like, though,
for
Dre
both
Greenlaw got
teams.
ejected. Yeah.
Both teams, yeah.
Yeah,
Because they
that's what I see.
penalized Nick Bosa for the same exact thing. As soon as I forget, I think it was Taysom Hill was actually in that quarterback at the time. As soon as he releases the ball, Nick Bosa hits him. But his momentum was already carrying him forward. They flag him for that, but Jimmy G's getting tagged all damn game. So I don't understand where the bias is there. I don't get it at all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and to be fair, isn't Taysom Hill not even a quarterback? He's more like a running back playing everywhere, bro. Like it's hard to even know what he's doing, bro. Isn't he kind of considered a runner?
Hey, you know what? He showed us, man. I think the defense learned very quickly to respect his arm because he did throw a really nice deep pass, and luckily it got called back. I forget why, maybe a holding, but it got called back. But I was like, okay, that's a good learning moment for the defense to be like, okay, don't take that lightly. You have to respect his arm too. And so from there on out, I think he just tucked and ran for the rest of the game. I didn't see him throw him anymore,
He wasn't
which
quite
is kind of
effective
weird.
as a runner. Like if you look at
No,
the stat sheet of
yeah.
what he did on the run, I think he averaged like less than 2 or 3 yards a carry, dude. We stopped him in the box.
Yeah, he was getting stuffed. Love to see it. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is like the way that it seems on the game is watched on TV is totally different in the stadium. So like where we're looking at it,
Yeah.
like it seemed like CMC was getting stopped early in the game, but maybe you were there and you were seeing might have been the offensive line not holding up necessarily, and it wasn't just CMC, or maybe like at the when Mitchell got hurt, we still had TDP. We still had Mason that came in later in the game, and he was running really good, but it didn't seem like we were scoring very well, and it didn't. I can't say it really looked to me like Jimmy was playing a horrible game or the wide receivers were playing a horrible game because there was calls that seemed to come back. But overall, I think the Niners played a really well game. And what was your vibes at the stadium, CG? What did
Oh,
it seem like?
it was super loud. Like we had a lot. It was pretty loud out there, and everybody was screaming and yelling all around. And when I was walking out of the game after the game was over, it was like traffic, dude. They were just happy as hell. But what really kind of got my attention when I was watching the game? I just noticed that the offensive line alone just wasn't doing their job enough, man. Like I think take away whatever you want to say. I don't think Jimmy is as bad as everybody was saying at the point, but if that line would have protected a little bit better against the Saints, I think we would have scored 27 or more points in this game. But here's what really pissed me off. Jake Brendo, costly freaking penalty, dude. We had a chance to move the field, and we go back 10 yards off of a holding. And then there was another stupid penalty by him also, and that just made my day livid, bro. We were in position to score a touchdown, and that dude screwed it up. I think Mitchell ran that touchdown, and they called it back on Kittle, I believe, right? Even though it wasn't even on him, which was stupid.
Well, yeah, man, I like what you said because I like that finally Aaron Banks, not that I want to give him criticism, but it's like when he deserves criticism, let's give it to him as well because if everybody
Yeah.
else is going to get it, you're not going to be up on the pedestal. And I feel like the whole offensive line was
Yep.
just had a terrible game, man. There's pressure all day in Garoppolo's face. Never got a chance to get comfortable, had to make off-script plays and like I was saying last night, if it were any other quarterback that didn't have that quick release, a lot of those plays that Garoppolo made would have been dead, man. So I like that you give Aaron Banks his criticism as well. Jake Brendel deserves some. Spencer Burford went out, and I
He
thought
already ranked,
Brunskill,
I think.
yeah,
Well, from what he told me, it's like it's like a normal ankle sprain, so he should be fine. But I don't know if he. I think
yeah,
he might play it next week or maybe the following day or whatever the
yeah.
next
He
game.
walked on his own power to the locker room, so that's always a great sign. Yeah, but McGlinchey's always McGlinchey, man. It's
Yeah,
time to figure out that replacement. I don't like this. Like we saw it in the NFC Championship last year. Garoppolo, if he has time in the pocket, he can make things happen, and when he doesn't. And McGlinchey's that guy that tends to not give him time in the pocket. So we got to figure that out. But
I,
Cowboy
I
Angels, go ahead.
I mean McGlinchey is who he is, bro. It's like he's just not a good pass blocker.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just say what I say, but I think we definitely need to replace a center too, bro. Jake Brendo, I don't know, man. He just ain't
Well,
cutting it. Like, okay, he had a couple good games, but now he's starting to
yeah.
show signs that he can't go against good defenders.
Yeah, they're taking steps to replace the center already as it is. So just because Brendel he's doing better as the season goes on, and he has some rough patches, but like we've already talked about it, he's way better than he was at the beginning of the season. And so they're lining lining up his replacement in case he either goes down or for next year. So I understand that because he's already acclimated with the offense and the playbook and all that stuff. But Brian, I want to get your thoughts right now on anything. If you got anything to say, I'm just gonna answer this question on or this comment on Cowboy Angel. Reminds me of the Darquez Denard pickup from last year. Yeah, 100%. Exactly.
The only difference is Jenkins is a ball hawker. He'll get the ball. I've seen Darquez. He's maybe had like very minimum picks and limited opportunities. But when you look at Janoris Jenkins, I think he had a couple of picks with the Titans last year.
Well, he's just referring to it being like a veteran that you bring in. That
veteran,
by chance, he can contribute.
More like a Josh Norman pickup because of the veteran experience. Because Norman was a veteran, even though his plays wasn't all that. But I think that's what Janoris Jenkins brings: a dog presence, a kind of what Norman brings. But I think you'll have a better guy that covers better.
Yeah, hopefully it's more like Sherman. But Brian, you got any thoughts, bro?
Overall, the whole game, I really liked it. I really think even though we didn't score as many points as we wanted to, I think the team won as a team, a unit. It's not always going to be the wide receivers dropping balls. Sometimes they catch it. In the same thing, the running backs, we can't always depend on them every game. So the offensive line didn't hold up like we wanted them to this game, but they have in the last couple of games. So it's going to be a back and forth thing, and the defense played really good. So, it's really cool. There was so many opportunities. There was like 13 out of 14 plays that could have been a touchdown in the red zone that the Niners stopped. With just that kind of, dog mentality, the team, you can't say, oh, the offense didn't contribute, because how many times did they have the ball like on the 1 yard line, the 5 yard line? And when you see Jimmy in the end zone throwing out of the end zone, it's never a good thing, so we don't want another safety, pick six, but the team did good. The team, and that's the things that I'm trying to say too, is we need these nitty gritty wins. We need these blowout wins. We need to learn how to win at all phases, so this team can say, hey, confidently, it doesn't matter if they're winning by 20 points. We can do this, because I know all of us here can say it. We've seen Steve Young do it on the sidelines, look over to his players and be like, hey, gonna shake their head and then come out and win the game at the end. There's been too many games where I was watching Steve Young play the game in the first, second quarter, and they were losing, and come out and win in the fourth quarter. And I was like, hey, just be confident. So, Jimmy's not that guy that we necessarily want, but he's the quarterback that we have.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really just confident. They're playing as a team now.
If you know what, real quick, because this is a Janoris Jenkins live stream, so if anybody that's just now tapping in, if you guys have any questions, because we already kind of went over it earlier in the video, but if you guys want to hear more on Janoris Jenkins, just throw it in the comments, and I'll try and find it with the 4 flames in your comment or question, however you want to post it. But John Knoxville, thank you for being here, man. Great to see you. Thank you. And he says that I hate Mitchell going to be out another 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah, man.
No, I heard differently. I heard it's not as bad as the previous one he had. So he could be out maybe a few games.
I heard 2 weeks. That this one isn't as severe as the last one, but you never know, man. So hopefully, from what it sounds, it's only going to be 2 weeks, but still at the same time, this is why I hated to see Jeff Wilson Jr. go down or go to Miami. But at the same time, the light at the end of the tunnel is that I think JP Mason is one of the NFL's best kept secrets. So let's look forward to that, man. I think JP Mason is going to have a time to shine, and TDP, we're going to get to see what he's got. And I think he's going to be that bruiser for us. So
I think Coleman will be added back to the roster, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that too. There's that. We always have Coleman, man. He's a really good veteran. So I feel really good about it. Sucks to see Elijah go down, man, but we always have a stacked running back course, so at least we have that to look at, man. Elijah Mitchell, get well soon, bro, because we'd love to have you on the field.
Has anybody confirmed? Has anybody confirmed it? Is it a sprained MCL?
Sprained MCL, but not as bad. But not as, no. It's like it's not as bad as the last one. Like it's only gonna probably be like a short term, like where he's maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And we get to see some Jordan Mason, so maybe we'll see what this kid's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
real quick, go
with
ahead.
him being inactive, TDP will be active. Unless they do bring in Coleman. But I think with CMC being the way he is, they'll probably keep Coleman out right now.
I think this is what I would do if I'm the Niners. I would try to like limit the carries off of McCaffrey and just use him as a slot receiver and just use the power backs. Like,
Well, oh, sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
no, I was
See,
gonna
the
say
thing is,
like for McCaffrey, if we want to limit the touches a little bit, but maybe we should use him more as a slot receiver at those certain package because Miami's defense has a hard time stopping those type of plays. And if we try to
yeah,
figure
it's
out
just
different ways,
the thing is, okay, of course they're not going to use him as a bruiser, but they're continuing to use him as a running back to keep the defenses honest, so that they can use him out of play action and stuff like that, and when they do pass. But going back to Tevin Coleman real quick, it's just really weird how he went from. So I don't know what's going on in practice, but he showed really good things when he did play, and he was basically the number 2 quarterback, running back behind Jeff Wilson Jr. at the time when Elijah Mitchell was out and we didn't have CMC. So he went from basically second to last. So that's really weird to me. So I'm curious to see how it's going to play out when it goes with the running back rotation. Maybe JP Mason's at number 2 spot now, now that Elijah Mitchell's down.
yeah, Mason gets to replace the production of what Jeff Wilson was doing because he's a physical power back. Like you can tell the way he runs the ball. That's exactly the way Jeff Wilson does it. So when you get somebody like Mason, he's a physical power back, but he's got that kind of speed that you've noticed. Like he's got that burst. Like what is he like 5'11", 223 pounds? Runs in between a 4.5, but he's kind of like a bullish runner if you notice the way he runs the ball, kind of like how Ty Davis Price does too. But I think he's more effective. Like he gets a couple more extra yards.
You got any thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, I think TDP he wasn't active because he's not featured on special teams right now. I like the way Mason does run. I like Mason and TDP.
Mhm.
I think with both of them being there, we can get that power back. And like you're saying, maybe throw CMC out there more as a wide receiver. With Coleman, the
Mhm.
reason I think Coleman might not be, necessarily like on, number 1, 2, or 3, or even practice squad. I don't think Kyle looks at it like that. I think they said, hey, you're going to go to the practice squad because there's more likely that you're not going to get picked up and we'll be able to keep these other boys on our squad. Because we didn't
Yeah.
want, TDP or Mason going anywhere, and they would have got signed somewhere. We
Yeah.
ended up losing out. We lost what's his name? Our second round pick last year. I'm drawing a blank right
Trey
now.
Sermon. Trey
Oh, you
Sermon.
third
Trey
round, third
Sermon,
round pick, right?
third
Third
round.
round. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost him because we had to make room, and he just wasn't
Mhm.
producing. We probably would have kept him if we would have had just a little bit more room for him. But
Yeah.
Coleman, he's going to be there, and maybe the Niners are giving a little bit more money on the side, to say, hey, stay on the practice squad. But um, I like what CG was saying. We definitely get that power out of those two guys for sure. And CMC,
Yeah.
we can't keep running him up the middle. That's not what we want to do with him.
I mean, use him on his unique skill set. Like if you're gonna play against Miami's defense, you got to mix up their defense a little bit on those matchups. Like what McCaffrey brings to the table, it's like that's going to be hard for them to even like get them. Like we might even get those quick first down plays, and then maybe sprinkle in a little bit of Debo on those little special team plays. But try to do it to where you don't make them as a runner. Make them do those go arounds. Like those go
Yeah.
arounds, like those go around plays. Miami's kind of been really a good football team. Maybe we need to catch them off guard a little bit, like do those little trickeries, like have McCaffrey throw the ball again.
Yeah, there's that too. Don't be afraid to use Ayuk on the end rounds. Pete Gorman says Wilson Jr. and Mostert talking shit. I guess we can get I guess we could get into that a little bit. And it sounds like from what I'm hearing is that Mostert's already trying to retract his statements and kind of soften the blow with what he's doing on Twitter. I saw a statement that Debo came out and made was like, "Come on, Mostert, be real, bro. Like be real with yourself." And I completely agree, man. It was ridiculous in my eyes. I'm like, Mostert, because Jeff Wilson Jr. was way more humble about it. He understands the situation. I didn't hear anything insulting coming out of his mouth. But Mostert, dude, this dude is flapping at the mouth again. you wouldn't even be in the NFL most likely if it weren't for the 49ers. So I would just shut the hell up if I were you, bro.
Oh, dude,
Because
and
really, anywhere else that he went, he always had a fumbling issue. The 49ers were the team that helped him correct that first and foremost, then give you a chance to play special teams and the run game. So I don't understand where your ungratefulness is coming from, bro. But go ahead, CG. Sorry.
nah, but the thing about Mostert is he should be really thankful. You know, we gave him opportunities. 7 teams passed on him like a prostitute, man. I saw one of the content creators do that shit out there. But in all seriously, dude, you opt out of the season, which was selfish, bro. You had 8 weeks to recover. We could have took our time. We could have used the open window to get you in. We would have put you in slowly for the playoffs. How much of a difference would it have made if Mostert would have just stuck with the recovery, but didn't have to go for that surgery ending season, bro, because he was eligible to return 8 weeks. So imagine what Mostert could have been if we would have used him in the playoffs. Bro, we would have had a cakewalk like 2019. Cakewalk, bro. Rams wouldn't even be able to touch us.
Yeah.
But
See,
the only
that
thing, though,
part's
is
true.
everybody
Go
has
ahead.
to remember. Everybody has to remember the football is very, emotional, and you also have to think about your family. And when your family's getting tweets and stuff and death threats and stuff about you because you got hurt, you might be like, this city might not be the best city for my family. And can you blame the guy for wanting to leave and now be like, hey, I'm going to stick it to that team that wanted to threaten my family because I got hurt? Where's the love? So I like Mostert, and yeah, you're right. And 6 or 7 teams passed on him. I think the Dolphins was one of them. The Jets was one of them. So the Niners they helped him. They helped him stop fumbling, and he only got to start because of special teams. Special teams matters, So I don't
Yeah.
know. I just think, like after you say something about someone's family, they do get emotional, and that has a happy wife, happy life, So she might have been like, hey,
Yeah.
it's time to, get a better contract somewhere else, even if you're taking less money, because I don't like the walls here anymore, The color's not right, So
Hey,
Yeah.
we didn't
let
do
me
Well,
him right.
let me feed off that one comment guy. Dude, don't worry about what the shades I wear, bro. I wear what the hell I want. I'm CG Ruthless, bro. I wear cool shades, bro. It don't matter to me. You're kind of concerned about my fashion, bro. Then why not you buy me some shades? How about that? Then just tone it down, my dude. I needed to
um,
give him a little bit of a smoke right there, bro. Come on, man.
yeah, I agree
$100,
with you,
that ain't
Brian.
nothing.
I agree with you, Brian, to a certain extent, because here's the thing. It's one thing to take shots at the fans and talk about the fan base. He's talking about his guys that were supposed to be his brothers, right? He's taking shots at the organization and the team. So that's where I take offense to it. Talk about the fan base, man, because I talk about the fan base as well. The 49er fan base, I used to think it was the greatest fan base of all time. Joined some Facebook groups. I'm like, what the hell is going on here, man? And I hear about it. I haven't seen it on Twitter yet because I'm not really deep in the Twitter stuff, but I hear even the Twitter stuff is just relentless and ridiculous, man. So it's rough. I understand the 49er fan base, but he's taking shots at the guys that are supposed to be his brothers, no matter
Yeah,
what team
that's
he goes to.
Yeah, that's a
Sorry.
little different when you're taking shots at your fellow comrades, your
Yeah.
fellow,
Yeah.
teammates. But the organization, you can kind of get away with that because you could be like, I work at Domino's now. I used to work at Little Caesars, that the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
pizza place, right? But
Yeah.
no, I get, like you don't like Jed York anymore. I get that, but the fans, yeah, the fans went after him, and I could
Yeah.
see him being a little bit, vengeful. So, but he's hopefully in a better spot. Maybe he's got his boy over there with in Miami, and now Wilson's there. So we'll see what happens. But we'll
Yeah.
put
Oh,
up or
but
shut up on this Sunday, huh?
But that's
Yeah.
like how some people are. That's like a bitterness employee, like an old employee used to have, right? Like, maybe things have not worked out for the better. So, of course, when you go to another company that's going to use you the right way, maybe you might be able to throw some shots at the old company. Because, I'm guilty as charged when I come as an ex employee for another company. I would say, hey, at least I'm getting paid a little bit better than this other company, right? Is that kind of me throwing shots, right? I guess so, right? I'm getting a little bit of a raise, and I'm actually getting the hours, and then I'm saying this company didn't do shit for me. But I guess that's how Raheem Mostert feels, right? But I think he felt like we weren't like he was even accusing the medical staff. Like, look at the Miami Dolphins medical staff. Look at Tua. He came back and forth, right, with concussions. I don't know how good they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely slinging some mud there. So
And
let's see what he does this Sunday.
that's the thing. I mean, that came from defensive linemen slamming two on the ground. So who's to say that might not happen again? Not that I'm wishing for it to happen. I don't want to see something like that happen to a man. It's rough to see, the way his fingers were clinching up and stuff like that. But it could happen. So don't be don't be too confident against his D line. Be careful
Oh,
with
dude.
yourself.
Tua holds on to the ball. That could be the concerning factor. And their offensive line is not as good
Yeah.
as compared to us. Like,
That,
yeah, they may score some 30 plus points, but that depends on what defensive line they're playing against. Look at the Houston Texans. They scored 30 points. And I guess some people may say, well, it's garbage time. They gave up 15 points to the Texans, but you scored 30 on them and didn't do much. So what's the excuse? What if this Niners defense does come at Tua and hit him 6 times? And he feels a little phased out a little bit. Then
yeah.
what? Is everybody going to still question our team and talk about how soft we are, dude? Because this is a statement game. I think playing
Yeah.
the Miami Dolphins to me is a ultimate statement because if we lay the wood on those guys, they're going to take us serious, bro. The Miami Dolphins is a serious statement game. I think playing Seattle on a Thursday night can be something seriously. But if we blow the brakes at a Tampa Bay, they're going to say we're the legit contenders way going further. And if we can score a 40 burger on the Raiders, shit, they're going to take us fucking serious.
Yeah, 100%, man. This could be smash mouth football. Love to put Dolphins in their place. John Knoxville, I've had this coming up for a long time. Sorry, I've been trying to get to it, but get caught up in conversation sometimes. Mostert shouldn't have said anything. He barely played for us. That was another point that I was trying to make before as well, was this dude didn't even have a full great season at all. He had a back end of the season success. And then he wanted to cry and scream about this extra money that he wanted. He wanted to get paid like Tevin Coleman, but he only showed that type of production for the back end of the season. So there's also that as well. And then he comes back and he continues to get injured. So, dude, it's just at that point, just shut up, dude. Cam Jordan ain't no joke, though. Yeah, for sure. I get that, with the offensive line, and the Saints do have a good defense, so there is that. But we got to play good against good defenses as well. Offensively, we got to help our defense out, put pressure on the other team to score as well. David
Well,
McNews says, go ahead.
well, to be fair, it was a short week, dude. It's a short week, and plus we were kind of like I think we had very little practice that week, and then this week was like a trap game. Like a lot of teams have fallen the victim of this week, so I guess you can say we did survive the trap game. And to defend the Niners on this situation, the Saints have never been shut out in 21 years. So let's put that to rest. Maybe the Saints are not as
Hey,
bad as everybody thinks it is. And it was a short week for us. We were coming off of Mexico. Maybe we might have came on a hangover. Maybe we were coming off of the party and we probably were just not getting enough practice that week. So I think we should expect a better 49ers team this week.
yeah, especially against Mike McDaniels. I think they're going to pull out all the stops. It's not a short week this week. You don't have that excuse. But Cowboy Angel says Derrick Henry Jr. equals JP Mason. Yeah, man. He's almost like how CG was saying earlier, how he kind of reminds him of Jeff Wilson Jr. I think if Jeff Wilson and Elijah Mitchell had a baby, it kind of looks like JP Mason in a way. Brian, you got any thoughts, bro?
Well, yeah, like what CG was saying, I think he's right. The Saints were like the longest team to be consecutively shut out. The last team did not have a shutout, and I think that was like 21 games or 22 games, something like that. And that's awesome. We had a
Now,
stat like
21
that for a
years.
little while. Yeah, yeah, 21 years. Yeah, something like that. And that's huge. But they had Breeze for like how many years? Like 15 years, so that helps. And then when you have Sean Payton for that many years too, that helps. But no, they've been playing good. They've always put up a fight against us, even when we split our divisions and they stopped playing against us. They put up a fight. And everybody said it too at the beginning of the year when we were saying, "Oh, we don't need Jimmy." A lot of people were saying Andy Dalton was better than Jimmy. Well, he might physically be better, he might athletically, but Jimmy's the guy we need right now. So that's
Yeah.
right now. That's what I'm thinking.
I want to point to something because you were talking about earlier, Brian, and I was trying to get to it earlier, but we kind of ran off in a different direction. Was like how you guys are talking about we shut out the Saints, but I want to give the defense kudos and kind of find the silver lining as well because I hound on the offense. I got to see better from that. We need to score more points. That's just what it boils down to, especially about against a team that I understand their defense is pretty good themselves, but the overall team isn't great. But the defense in the red zone for 14 plays, our defense allowed 13 net yards, 13 yards and 14 plays in the red zone. Every drive that ended up for the Saints offensively in the red zone, 13 yards, 0 points.
Yeah.
That's badass. It's still an NFL team, man. So hopefully we could see that against some of the more elite. Well, hopefully we could see that against the Dolphins first and foremost. You know,
So 4 straight games that we played and no points scored in the second half from the opposing team. That's that's incredible. So like let's say we do come in the halftime and maybe we have a tie game with Miami with 17-17, and then we go into that halftime and just add up some scores on there, and then maybe they stay at 17, bro. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. That's optimistic. Maybe that's possible.
no, that's definitely happened this season a couple times already. We've seen the 49ers would come out and either score in the first half or score in the second half, and they weren't really doing well in both halves. I think the Seahawks game was the first game that the 49ers kind of put together.
Yep. Dominant
But
fashion too. It was like a slow start, but then we started gelling in the second half and it looked different.
exactly, man. Hamza Ismail says Gino's smacking that ass soon. I don't think so, buddy. I think he might be playing grab ass. I don't know if you guys saw that picture. He he might be playing grab ass with Marquise Goodwin, but he ain't smacking no Niners ass. I know that for
He
damn sure.
grabbed him up and said that
And
was
you
a
lost to
good
the
win.
Raiders. You lost to the Raiders. You shouldn't be
Yeah,
talking.
dude. Come
Anybody who
on,
loses,
man.
you lose to a bottom feeder like the Raiders. You have no business talking. Sorry.
And that's really interesting too, because like the Saints shut out the Raiders this year, and then we shut out the Saints. So let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
So
go.
37-0. Can we get a 37-0 to the Raiders? Can we do that? Like we're doing the math, right? Can we get that?
Yeah, I can't believe the Seahawks just lost to the Raiders. I can't stand the Raiders, bro. I was rooting for the Seahawks, even though I understand the division stuff. I just can't stand the Raiders. So there's that. But to lose to the Raiders at, at home in Seattle when it's snowing, oh my God, that's supposed to be advantage Seahawks. Definitely. We whooped the Seahawks 24-9 with without CMC. What do you think we're gonna do to you this time, man? So but John Knoxville says, do you guys have any word on Debo hamstring? As of right now, all I know is that he's good, man. I was really surprised they played him, especially as much as they did in this game. I would have just sat him or I would have let him suit up and used him if need be. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't have used him with a tender hamstring this week. I would have saved him for the Dolphins. But overall, from everything that I know, he's good. So that's promising.
Yeah, he seems okay. Like he shaked it off and came back, so I think he'd be all good. You know what the good news is? We finally get Armstead back, right? Because I think he practiced last week on the final week of the week or something. Now that it kind of trends towards maybe he'll play against the Dolphins. So you know what it's like when you have a guy like Armstead taking double team and actually kind of helping a lot for the defenders. It's going to make it easy for Bosa to get to Tua. And
Yeah.
Tua ain't gonna have much time on the pocket. Like you can say, yeah, he puts on great passing stats. Maybe it's against crappy defense because crappy defense don't get the pressure on Tua. If you pressure Tua, Tua does not look as good as everybody says. I mean, he's exceptionally well if you protect him well, but if you hit him, he's gonna look like Geno Smith with those crappy stats.
Brian, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the Dolphins. I know they're really hyped
Yeah.
because they can score a lot of points, but I think if we hit, just like CG said, we can get some hits on Tua. That's going to slow him down a little bit. And yeah, they got Tyreek Hill now and stuff, and they got Mostert and Wilson. They got a really fast offense, but um, they had to go up against the Niners. Like Tyreek didn't, but the other two had to go up against the Niners all the time in practice. And you can't say, "Oh, that's Jimmy every time." No, they had a practice too, and they didn't always produce against our defense. So this defense is going to get a chance to really hit them this time. So they're going to actually see what it's going to feel like to get hit by our defense. I think that's going to slow them
Yeah,
down a little bit too. And
that's what
both
I'm
these
talking
guys
about.
have, yeah, both of them have fumbling issues. We know that. So I think by us just getting into their head, I think that's going to put a lot on them. So I'm excited. And then
Hey,
I do think Kyle has something else to prove in this game. So
yeah, get Janoris Jenkins on a peanut punch. Get Hafunga on a helmet right on the ball. Who else? Fred Warner. Get them all peanut
but
punches on Jeff Wilson and Mostert. Let's do
yeah,
it.
let's see Womack in there a little bit more. And I'm really excited about him. I am. He's
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah, for the future, definitely, man. Like I said earlier in the stream, guys, if you guys, I know it's a Janoris Jenkins stream, so if you guys have any questions, we talked a lot about it already, so we're kind of going on to other topics. We just want to talk with the 49ers. So if you guys want to get back to that, let me know in the comments. Feel free, don't be shy. We got Niners all damn day in the house. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, man. And he says Mostert acting like a Tyree Hill, and that makes sense, man. He's starting to become a product of his environment as well. So, yeah, Mostert, you got to be better, dude. He's already trying to retract those statements, so he knows he messed up, biting the hand that fed him as well. So that's what Niners all damn day has to say about it. Go ahead if you guys have any thoughts. I'm going to check some of the comments real quick.
I
I
was going
got
to
a
ask
feel.
if you guys have. Go ahead.
I got a feeling this is going to be a statement game. I think this defense is probably going to make Tua look like a garbage quarterback this game. I got a feeling the way they're hyping Tua, I think
Yeah,
Niners are going to limit him to a season low. I think Tua is probably going to have less than 200 yards passing. I think he's probably going to have a couple of picks and maybe one touchdown. But I think I don't wish on nobody else on anything like that. But I think it's a possibility that one of our defenders can injure them by accidental, bro. I just think Tua's not built for this, and I think our defense is going to eat him alive.
he does seem a little brittle. Yeah. What are you going to say,
Yeah,
Brian?
and I say with all due respect, but I think our defense is
Yeah.
built to hit people like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said earlier, smash mouth football. And so I think it's going to be a wake up call for the Dolphins. But I know Brian was going to say something, so I'll let him go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna touch on the defense. If either one of you guys knew a little bit more about the Dolphins' defense, because they don't seem to be able to stop other teams from scoring points. They scored 30 points. The other seems to score 28 points. So, do they not have a
Hmm.
good defense, or is it their corners aren't good or something like that? Because I don't. I know everybody said, well, the Saints aren't a good team, but they have a good defense, and we could see they kept us in check. So is the Dolphins going to keep us in check, or is it going to just be, both teams scoring like 60 points?
I don't know too much about the Dolphins defense. I'm still going to go over some of their stuff. I'm still kind of, got the Saints in review. Definitely. I think Wednesdays usually when I start transitioning towards the Dolphins, but I'm gonna try and find a Dolphins content creator as well that we can kind of go back and forth and kind of pick their brain a little bit. So if I can find a Dolphins content creator, if anybody knows one, let me know, shoot them my way or whatever, link us up. That'd be cool.
I
Yeah.
got
So
one
yeah.
coming up this week, so I'm supposed to get like one of the big ones out there. TD Finn's talk, like he's got a huge amount of followers. He's gonna have me appear on a show for a 20-minute show, and then he's probably gonna just promote it for me. But yeah, he does like I think he does the AFC West. I mean, not AFC East roundtable also, but he has like almost. I think he has about 20,000 subs. Good amount of followers, bro.
Jeez.
He has a lot of
Dang.
Dolphin fans, bro. So that's why when I was looking for another big name, I was like saying, dude, I gotta go that TD Finn because everybody talks about how big of a deal he is and some other guys. But there's some out there. There's Finn side or something. I think Finn side something. And I think that one guy that we'd always get is that I don't think he shows his face, but he's a Dolphins fan. I've seen on my comment section. I forget his damn name. Grandizer. That other dude's a Dolphins fan.
Mm. I'm gonna have to check it out a little bit. I'm gonna scope it out and try and network. But yeah, as of right now, like you said, Brian, I have noticed like I think the Texans even scored 15 points, but that's the Texans. So it's like if they can score 15, I'm sure the Niners can score like 42 points or something like that, 49 points.
Yeah.
It could
Dare
be
I
a
say?
shootout, bro. It could be a shootout game if I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. Hopefully the 49ers don't, play below average football offensively. Go ahead if you guys have any thoughts. I'm going to check some here. Let me see. Because Randall Riley, thank you for being here, has a question. What's with the narrative that we haven't blown out any good teams, LMAO? If you play a good team, what makes you think you are going to blow them out or score a lot of points, aka they are a good team? What can I? And here, I've gone back and forth about this with the NFL. I think people call it mediocre, but for me, I just say there's so much rotation with moving parts going back and forth between teams, different players. Obviously, you see like the 49ers East over there in Miami now. That's 49ers 0.5.
So hey,
But
before you answer that question or go too much into it, isn't that like a two-way like question? Like if you get blown out by a team, does that make you a bad team? You know what I mean? Like if you blow out a team, does that make you a good team because you blew out a team? If you play a good team and it's only like a 14 to 21 point game, doesn't mean you suck. You just didn't score as many points. And then if you have an off day, like we played the Chiefs and we had an off day, does that make us a bad team? No, they
no,
just got us in our heads.
No, and that's what I was getting to is that the NFL is kind of really even now with the salary cap and all that stuff. So any team can get you and you can get any team any week, right? Any given Sunday. That's why I was
Yeah.
getting to that. I kind of have this weird thing where I build things up slowly. But yeah, that's where I'm getting to, man. And sometimes the 49ers have bad games and they have good games. I think what distinguishes the good teams is being consistent, executing, and being disciplined. So that's what it comes down to. The 49ers haven't been consistent. They're a good team, but they're not a great team as it stands, I would say, because the offense still struggles. If they were great, they wouldn't struggle, I don't think. Not this much.
Yeah, man. Hey, great stuff, bro. I'm gonna hop out and then I'm gonna do my stream a little later on. But hey, dude, good stuff. I'm gonna promote your stream in a bit. But yeah, dude, keep up, man. But Jenkins is gonna ball out maybe late in the season, and it'll probably be a steal.
Yeah, I think we'll see the DBs step up, the cornerbacks step up. But CG, thanks for being here, bro. Great having you as always. Everybody go check out CG Ruthless Sports Network. Go sub him up if you haven't already. Go check him out. And he's got a fun personality, man. So love it,
Yeah.
bro. Take care,
All
man.
right, man. All right, you too, Brian Cope. Hey, you too, also Brian Cope, and everybody else, man, in the building. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Later, bro. Brian, I gotta figure out a way to get in David McNew's inbox too somehow. And I want to get a one-on-one show with you one time a week if I can, but we'll talk about that later. Randall Riley also asks, what distinguishes us from any other of the top teams is our number one defense. It's what will carry us again deep in the playoffs. If Jimmy plays mistake-free football in playoffs, we can go pretty far. I agree completely. Defense wins championships, but the thing is, it can't just be on Jimmy, man, because as we've seen in the Saints game, when the D line is getting to Garoppolo, we need to call more screens. I still haven't seen the halfback screens that I've been asking for to get the opposing D line gassed a little bit, and then our O line has to execute as well. So they got to be the first line of defense to help Garoppolo make those plays because there was too many times where he had to throw as he's falling down, right? I'm sure as soon as I said that, you guys had the flashbacks go in your head when Garoppolo was getting hit in this game, throwing and saving the play as he's going down. We can't have that anymore. He needs more time in the pocket to make things happen. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
he
Brian.
definitely was getting hit in this. He was definitely getting hit in this game, like late, early, in the middle of his throws. He was just getting hit. I know, like sometimes, some games, you can expect that, but he hasn't been hit like this for a couple of weeks that I've been able to recognize. And I know,
Yeah,
he only give up one sack, but he still got hit a lot.
yeah,
And there was that one hit, and I don't know if he was, like ad libbing a little bit, and playing for the camera, but he did grab his knee pretty good. And I was listening to some other people, and I've heard some people say, yeah, they feel like it affected him the rest of the game. We can't lose Jimmy. If we lose Jimmy, our season's over. We
yeah.
can't bank on, Trey Lance is coming back. If we lose any games from here on out, that's our season.
Well, that's the
We
thing.
can't lose anymore.
That's the thing. Jimmy has to at least buy us enough time for Trey to get here if he is going to get here at some point as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that Garoppolo was doing it for the cameras or the referees because I saw him limping after that, and that's why I was saying, even when he got it from that play, he was limping to the huddle and stuff like that for almost the rest of the game. I noticed it, and he just never seemed comfortable. And that's just something because Durag Don asks right here, what do you think about our O line? This is what I'm talking about. They've been playing pretty good, outside of mostly McGlinchey, but for the most part, the O line has been doing a pretty decent job. This was a really bad game for them. I think this is who I would point to the most on why we didn't score as many points as we should have. It would be the offensive line as a unit, and we have to play better going forward for the offense to score points, help that defense out, because we can have as great of a defense as we want, but we have to score points to win. It can be 0-0 and it'll still be a tie. And the other team can win by a field goal if it's 3-0. So no, the offense has to perform at some point.
Yeah, we can shut down teams, but we have to execute. And you can't always say it's the wide receivers. You can't always say it's the quarterback. If they're
Yeah.
getting rushed into their pass, they're getting rushed into their route. Because I felt like that time, this game, it seemed like Jimmy was setting up to throw it to him, and then he's being forced to throw it to him, and then the wide receivers weren't quite ready for it. You know, and I know you get into their area, they're supposed to catch it, but there's supposed to be a part where the field opens up or there's that window, and I think that everything just seemed to get rushed because of the attack on the Saints defensive line.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. It's just like, is this is how you're going to perform when you go against a good defensive line? So we'll just have to wait and see against the Dolphins. But Andrew Neal chimes in about the Dolphins defense, so he's going to kind of help us out and the rest of the 49er fan base with this. Dolphins defense is also not that great. Our offense is going to run all over them. Hopefully, man. I don't know what they're ranked right now. Like I said, I'm still kind of in Saints mode. Got into this Janoris Jenkins stuff a little bit, so I still need to go and take a look at the Dolphins. I was trying to yesterday, but um, it was on the way back from the res, so I didn't have great signal. But Randall Riley says a lot of parity across the league, it seems. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, man. So many moving parts. I think that's affecting a lot of teams in a positive way and a negative way. Randy Daytona says press, blitz, and force Tua to weak side. Yeah. It seemed okay. So we talked about how Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward, get him on some blitz packages. Who else? Hafunga. And we saw it yesterday, but it seemed like every time the 49ers try to utilize that, and it ended up being a run play. So we didn't get to see them hit the quarterback. So hopefully we get to see that work into fruition against Tua. Do you got any thoughts on that, Brian?
Just when you started saying about like our blitz, it doesn't seem to me like really our blitz has been working against really anybody. It seems like they've been picking it up. I know there's just recently like we've been able to get to the quarterback just barely. It doesn't seem like we have this great defensive line, but we don't blitz very often. And then when we do, it doesn't seem like it helps. So I
Well,
don't I don't I don't know why that's the way it is.
I would say it helped because on those plays where they were rushing Hafunga and Jimmy Ward, they didn't get a hit on the quarterback, but they were stuffing runs for lost yardage. So they were still working, but not to the effect to where I think fully what we want to see is we want to see mostly hits on the quarterback. But I do love tackles for loss as well. You know, they were stuffing Kamara 3 yards behind the line, so that was great. It was working to some effect. Let's just get it on the quarterback, especially get Tua off rhythm.
I know the Niners' pressure was definitely affecting him. He fumbled like twice, so I can't say it's not working. It's just it's not doing exactly like what you said. It's not doing what we want, maybe.
Yeah, and that's where I get back to Janoris Jenkins. I think the 49ers saw an opportunity here where they can create more turnovers with the veteran. So I love to see it, man. They're smelling the blood in the water and seeing opportunity with it, and hoping that Janoris Jenkins can teach some of the younger guys how to utilize that more in their game, because it's not always just about coverage. Sometimes you're going to give up the play, and you just got to make it. You got to make a turnover at that point if you can.
Yeah.
But we got JT in here. Scorpion12676 says, "Aho, brother, nephew, uncle, cousin, JT here. Aho, relative. Thanks, bro. Here it's going right in. Going to I can't read. Here it's going to ride on our health. We stay healthy. Reality healthy. We'll have a chance to be in the end. 100%, man. That's always the big thing with us is we have to stay healthy. If 49ers are healthy, the NFL has to look out and look over their backs." Nice points, everybody. Maybe one or two the most losses, but we beat Miami. Good chance to win out. But this is a very big statement game. Yeah, man. Outside of the Dolphins, I don't really see anybody contending with us. So if we can make a statement game, build that confidence. I know people say that the game in Seattle is going to be in question. People are a little worried about that. I think
Yeah.
the 49ers might lose if they rest all their starters in that game. But if that's a must-win game, or must-win game for higher seeding, then I think the 49ers are just going to put the whooping on the Seahawks again. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I don't. I really, really hope they don't put anybody off for a bye week or rest anybody. I hope everybody goes into the playoffs. Maybe don't play the whole game, but they need to play. They gotta play. If we're winning, and it's a big blowout, or if we don't need to win the game, okay, pull maybe after the third quarter or something like that. But they need to go into the playoffs without rest. I don't like that at all. And right now, I don't see a team really being able to play the Niners or keep up with the Niners. This game here, and then next week when we play the Bucks, that those are our only games that we really have to worry about. I think at this point, and if we can get past that, the Commanders are starting to get scary, but um, those are it. That's it. We got the Raiders, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks, and that's it. We got a good chance as long as we stay healthy.
Yeah,
We stay
the
healthy.
Bucks got beat by the Browns. I'm not worried about them or the Commanders. I am curious how the matchup's going to go against Kyler Murray the second time around. It's going to be a home game for us against the Cardinals. I think they're all going to be all three of those matchups are going to be, worth watching. But I don't think they're going to threaten the 49ers. As long as the 49ers take care of business and stay healthy, we should dominate all three of those games. It's the Dolphins game that's in question for me. That's the one where a team that can put up points is what worries me, because this team has shown over and over again they can lack in the points factor of the game.
Yeah, I think at that point, I don't think there's a team. Up, I'm gone.
Uh-oh.
I don't think there's a team right now other than the Dolphins on our roster that can score. So I think that's a good point.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, 100%.
But everybody else, it's gonna be great. Just keep it going. But hey, Wolf, let me jump off. You have a great night. Thanks for having me on. Everybody, stay faithful. Like and subscribe. Share it. Tell your friends and stay faithful. I think we got a really, really good chance. So we'll see everybody next time. Go Niners.
All right, brother.
Enjoy Victory Monday.
All right, brother. No shit. This fucker. He's like, you can't fire me. I quit. But Randall Riley, and always great to have Brian on the show. Love that guy on the show, man. Trying to get a segment to where we can do a show dedicated to just him once a week. Let me know what you guys think about that. Luckily, the Dolphins, says Randall Riley. Luckily, the Dolphins D-line isn't the Saints. I think you will see a huge difference this weekend. And when we play defenses with really good D-lines, I agree the game plan has to be better. 100%. I like that you added the last part in there because that's what I was going to get to. Our offensive line, they've shown that they can play well as a unit. This was a rough game for them, and I take that into consideration, that Kyle Shanahan wasn't scheming up to help them out as much as I would like. I would like more screens when there's pressure in Jimmy's face to kind of take advantage of that aspect of the game. So, yes, I think it was a rough game for the 49ers against the Saints. I don't think it's going to be a weekly basis where that happens to them. So I completely agree. JT says, if we can just be better at bending but not breaking in the red zone, hold to field goals, yeah, man. Because we're gonna give a few of those up. You go against a team that has a good kicker, then it's inevitable, basically, for the most part. We haven't had a lot of blocked field goals this year, obviously. Damian Leon here. What's up, Niner family? Hey, what's up, bro? Hope you're having a great day today, man. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And this guy as well, 49ers First Takes. What's up, my dude? My man, Culp. Hey, bro. Thanks for being in here, Aaron. Really appreciate you tuning in, bro. Hope you're having a great day. And we got another great in here, another GOAT, Mr. David McNew. Are you ready, bro? We're going to bring him on screen. Yeah? All right, cool. What up, David? How you doing, bro?
Buddy?
There you
literally
are.
just walked in my door. Like literally, I've had a long day.
You look really bundled up.
It's cold and snowing.
Yeah.
So
I feel your pain. I'm over here in Flagstaff, man. My motorcycle even got blown over a couple times. So I'm gonna have to fix a couple parts on my motorcycle. Sucks. Yeah.
I'm too crazy to own motorcycles. I'm not gonna lie to you. I tried, right, and I realized I'm too. No, I'm gonna kill myself. I realized that. But what I did, because I live by a canyon and it gets really windy, I actually took 4-foot long pieces of rebar and put a stake on each side of it, and I strapped the bike to them. Yeah. And it never. I mean, we had wind gusts 90 miles an hour. It never blew it over.
Jeez. That's crazy. Hey, Utah's beautiful though, man. The one time, probably the 1 or 2 times that I passed through there was beautiful. I was like, geez, man. Little did I know.
It's a good place to live. It's just winter time. I mean, we haven't had a snowy winter in years, and this might be the one. That's already snowing outside. It normally don't do that till mid-December.
Yeah, us too here. Not today, but it's supposed to rain Sunday. Snow ready. My lady used to live in Utah. Got to ask her more about it. That's when she was younger. But you got any thoughts on any of the Janoris Jenkins or anything else we've been talking about?
Well, at this point, when it comes to the Dolphins, I'm honestly worried about the injuries that stacked up this last game. Because Burford's he's a rookie, but he's been coming right along. He's been playing good. When it comes to McCaffrey, I honestly do. I agree with Bryant. We don't use him right. You don't run that man up the middle. He's a good outside edge runner. He's an excellent third down back, receiving back, and we should be playing him in the slot every now and again. I mean, we really should be taking advantage of his skill set.
Yeah.
And which also reminds me, you're talking about contact information.
Oh yeah,
private chat. But
okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm in the private chat, typing in my email address.
All right, cool. Yeah, bro. So Janoris Jenkins, I don't know if you got to hear too much of it earlier, and anybody who wasn't tuned in earlier, Janoris Jenkins, I love how they brought him in as a veteran that's been in the league for 10 years. He's been here for 10 years, man, but his production is what stands out to me, especially after this Saints game with the turnovers that we had. Seems like the 49ers want to utilize that and want to bring somebody in to teach the younger cornerbacks how to kind of utilize this aspect of their game, because over the span of 10 years, this dude has 27 interceptions, 7 forced fumbles, 2 sacks on the quarterback, 124 passes defensed, and 575 tackles. Last year, he played with the Titans in 14 games for 54 tackles, 6 passes defensed, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. A little bit of drop in the production, but he is older. The 49ers kind of favor him playing zone coverage. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him step in at some point, or at least have an effect on these younger guys, man. But do you have any thoughts on the signing of Janoris Jenkins?
Honestly, I didn't know we even did. We signed him?
Yeah, we signed him to the practice squad. Yeah, Janoris Jenkins, corner, 10-year veteran, originally drafted 39th overall in 2012.
I was kind of leaning towards Malcolm Butler when it comes to corners, but Janoris Jenkins is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those depth signings because I think Lenore's doing an admirable job right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he's just like Burford. He's getting better the more he plays. You know, we all saw Ambry Thomas actually play pretty good, you know, above average, I'll say, at the end of last season. And then he shows up this season, and it's like, what happened? I think the kid needs to play. I think that's what happened. He's one of those players that needs to be on the field playing, you know, and feeling out the game and, you know, taking his lumps. He's just one of those guys. Because when we drafted him, I don't remember if his college opted out for the year or if he opted out for the year, but he didn't play his senior year in college, you know, due to the pandemic, right? So, but yeah, I'm unsure as to which one it was, but he did not play that year, so he's already lacking a year's worth of experience. And right now, it's not like him sitting on the bench is helping anything. I mean, we need to get him in the game whenever we can, you know, because we might need him down the road. You never know. But I mean, but when it comes to running the ball, we have Jordan Mason, we have TDP. Let's have those are bruisers. Let's put them up the middle. Let's not use CMC that way. I mean, we need the guy. You know, he's a weapon. We need him to hit the edges. We just plain need the guy, you know?
Yeah.
So, and when it comes to McGlinchey, please don't re-sign him.
I would maybe re-sign him as a second string or third string. That's about it, man. No way in hell is he starting another season in the 49ers uniform.
Man.
Can't let that happen.
I mean, he was a 9th pick overall. I'm going to say we missed on that one.
Well, he did pretty good for a couple years, man. But his pass protection, you know, especially with Trey Lance, you might want to get him somebody who could pass protect a little bit better on his right side because he is going to want to roll out. But you're getting a lot of love in the comments, bro. Just want to point that out. David McNew is very popular in the comments. I wanted to get back to what you were talking about with Janoris Jenkins because, like you said, for depth, definitely Diamador Lenore is the guy. But here is the thing. This is where it gets tricky. This is why I think the 49ers brought him in. I think we all know how D'Amico Ryans feels about Ambry Thomas. So I think that kind of says it all. I don't think they want to put Womack outside. I do think it's time to put Jimmy Ward back at safety, put Womack in that nickel, and then just knock on wood. If anything happened, if anything were to happen to Lenore, would you want to have Dante Johnson, he's really good at what he is. He's the Swiss Army knife of DBs. Or do you want to mix in somebody a little bit who gives you the ball hawk aspect of the game as well that can create turnovers?
I would rather mix in Janoris Jenkins than Dante Johnson. Dante Johnson's like that growth that you need to go get removed, and that's been making you itch forever. You know?
Oh, freaking David. Oh, no. Hey, real quick, I appreciate you too, man, because I know how it feels to get home after a long day and just want to kick up your feet and, you know, have a hot ramen noodle or something like that, man. So I appreciate having you on, bro. As soon as you get home, that's
no problem,
right
man.
there. Right on.
Yeah, it's the end of the month push at my work, and then I had to go take care of something at my sister's house. I was running around in the snow, but I got a Jeep and mud tires. I don't care. I'm good.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. We got the homie that's a Raiders fan in here. He says, I got the Niners versus Cowboys in the NFC Championship. You guys got this, bro. Puro Jimmy and Jimmy G and Fred Warner. Love the show, man. Love and respect. Hey, likewise, bro. Hope you're having a great day, man. Congratulations on beating the Seahawks yesterday.
Well, I kind of want that to happen too, because the Cowboys are going to be a wild card team. We know Philadelphia's schedule. I mean, they have the Titans coming up.
Yeah,
that's probably going to be their toughest opponent.
Get the Cowboys on a road schedule,
and then exactly the Cowboys would be the wild card team. Then that would be a home game for us if we win our division, which I'm pretty confident we can. We kind of hold. When it comes to those cards, we're holding that in it right now. We have them. It's we literally own our own destiny is up to us right now.
Well, yeah, we're basically 1.5 games ahead, or two. We're 1.5 or 2 games ahead right now.
It's one. I think I know we're 1 game. I haven't looked at the standings. It might be 1.5.
Well, because we're undefeated in the division, that adds like another half point. So that's
the tiebreaker. That's the tiebreaker right there.
So if we were to tie with somebody out of our division, then that's why I'm saying we're like 1.5 ahead of the division. Because Seahawks.
We got the Dolphins coming up, which I expect that to be a knockdown, drag out street fight. We got the Bucks coming up, which is at San Francisco. They have to travel all the way across the country. You never know what Tom Brady's going to do, but I mean, we'll see, I guess. And then we got to go to Seattle, which it is tough to win at Seattle. It really is. But I think we can do this. Honestly, think we can win there.
Yeah.
I believe we can win anywhere, and we can play with any team. But a lot of that depends on what happens with Jimmy G. Like this last game, they were hitting him. They might have gotten in his head a little bit. And he was kind of banged up towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Which is something we really don't need, especially with Brock Purdy as the backup.
And then even like in Seattle already yesterday, it was snowing. So we're seeing that already play into effect. We're going to play them later on into winter. So it might be a snow game, most likely. So
don't they have a closable roof? I think they have a closable roof.
I believe so. It looks like one. I'm not exactly sure.
If they want to play in the snow, then they can leave their roof open. But I highly doubt they want to play a snow game against us,
Yeah, we're built to win.
How we run the ball and play defense. You don't want to play a snow game against a team that runs the ball and throws the defense, especially with their wide receivers and how they're kind of a pass-first offense. That they're not going to want to play in the snow against us.
Yeah, we're built to win in any condition, so I love that about the Niners. There was some point I was going to make, but I forgot. But Damian Lee says, Big David hitting facts from our conversations.
Yep.
Another shout out. I'm telling you, you're popular in the comments, bro. And Rick Diaz, German, how are you both of us on the panel with this is Radius from Chicago. I don't have 49er fan, and the good and the bad, that's my team. Oh, I don't hate 49er fans. Okay. That's what's up, man. Thank you for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it, man. So that's awesome. Let me read this other comment he has. This is my first time coming into your show. I saw you, so I decided to come in and say hi to both of you. Let's talk about 49er football. Yeah, let's do it. Let's learn about a bunch of different teams as well. Thank you for tuning in. I'll kind of curious where you heard about me, so that's really cool, man. Thank you for tuning in, and hello to yourself. JT says, agree so much with the running CMC to the outside and wide out, and pounding Mason inside, and a lot of work on the edges, left and right. And this is the thing too, right? Where I said CMC, you have to continue to run him just to keep the defense on its toes and keep them honest if you want to use CMC in the pass game, because he could be as great as a receiver as we want him to be. But if the defense is already knowing what's coming when he's on the field, then it doesn't work out so well as it might if he's running the ball as well. We saw Elijah Mitchell run around the edge, and we had success on that. That was really nice. Haven't seen it as much from CMC. So, yeah, let's see more of that from him, especially to keep him healthy. That'd be another cool thing. But do you have any thoughts on that?
Line up in the I formation and, have CMC motion to the slot. I mean, we could totally throw the defense off.
Yeah.
If we do that, they're playing base defense. They don't have a nickelback out there. Linebacker's not going to be able to cover him. So they're probably going to have to bring up a safety, which will put 2 out of 3 of our receivers, including CMC, 1-on-1. Right?
You know what yeah, exactly, because I feel like I haven't seen this in a long time where they audible to shift formation from like the I formation to a shotgun formation mid play before the snap. So that would be great to kind of utilize that, what you're talking about there with CMC, especially have him in the backfield and then shift the formation to shotgun, and then he moves out to the slot for a 3 receiver set or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Rick Diaz says we're not out of the woods. We still got Miami and Tampa coming in, so the offensive line should be fine. It's got a kid together and protect our quarterback and be more aggressive and consistent like they did Monday. Yeah, 100%. That's the thing. Hopefully we could get more production like we did last Monday, man. But
well, Miami, I mean, they run the similar systems to what we run, and that's why I'm expecting a knockdown, drag-out fight because the coaches know each other. McDaniels knows our team, Yeah. Well, not all the new players and all the 1-year guys we always seem to come up with, and then we know their running backs. Yep, that's right. And oh man, and it's gonna be like, I mean, Mostert is still pretty fast. I don't know, is he injured? Is he playing? Do you know if he's playing?
Who?
Mostert? Is he gonna be playing in that Dolphins game?
I don't.
Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know that yet. I haven't transitioned really to the Dolphins game yet. But yeah, last I heard, Mostert was hurt, so I don't know. I heard Jeff Wilson's hurt now too.
Wow, that's. I'm gonna say nothing new. I mean, those Mostert, when he was on the field, he was great for us. And to be bashing, us like that, it's kind of like I saw him bounce around the league. I saw him playing on special teams, getting cut by someone, picked up the next week because someone else gets hurt. I saw the beginning of his career like that, and then he got on with us. I was saying, this dude hasn't been able to stick to an NFL team. Like, what are we doing here? And then he did pretty good. So I'll give him a shout out for that. But at the same time, you don't dog your employer like that. When it comes to me, I worked at my old job 19 and a half years. So I straight told my boss he sucked when I was leaving. I still talk to him though, it's not like he hates me or I hate him, but it was just one of those things.
Yeah, I've had a similar kind of thing where kind of talk shit with the boss. Still to this day, even though I don't work there. But Rick Diaz says we have all the good players, all these weapons. We got to start using it. Kyle's got to be more smart than so he can use these players. And that's exactly what we want to see. That's what we talk about every week, man. Monday was great, but let's see it consistently. And we said that all week. We don't want to get too hyped because we love what we saw against the Cardinals, but it has to be consistent and it can't just be that game. So 100%. Brian Culp, I think, says, I think we play the Giants at Levi's for the championship. Depends on if we get the 2 or 3 seed. Yeah, see, that would be tough, man, because I want some revenge, man. But they lost to the Cowboys, so no, I don't think so. But I would like.
I mean, the Giants, when it comes to offensive weapons, they have Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm. Saquon Barkley.
Saquon. My bad. I totally
Richie
chopped
James.
up. I totally chopped up his name.
Hey,
But
careful, because they got Richie James Jr. over there, bro. Be careful
they
what you
do.
wish for.
They do have Richie
Yeah.
James. But I mean,
Yeah.
offensively, their offensive line isn't rebuilt yet. You know, they have
No.
a couple good pieces, but their offense is anemic. Their defense is pretty good, you know, but
Yeah.
their offense is not. So I don't know. I kind of think the Giants are one of those teams that, I mean, if they had a wide receiver too, they might be a little scary.
Well,
But
here's the thing. I
they're
know.
still rebuilding. You know, this is
Mhm.
Duval's first year, and he's doing good with what he has. So, you know, next year I expect them to get get a few more pieces here and there, and then be more competitive. This year, I don't see them going deep in the playoffs. I
No,
don't.
no. I think. Let me see. Because of how Brian
Um,
Culp, how he worded it, we get the 2 or 3 seed for the championship. Though, no, definitely not. They already got beat by the Cowboys. But the thing is, I wouldn't not be afraid of the Giants, because I understand it was a division game against the Cowboys, but they still put up more points than the Niners did against the Saints,
yes.
and they don't even have all the weapons. So it's like that's an example of why we're saying this offense is underperforming, because the Giants don't have weapons like that. That's for damn sure. But Damian Lee says, when is the funeral for the Los Angeles Scams? I think
That's
it's
after this next week, and they lose again, and they're definitely guaranteed a losing record. I will gladly hold the funeral.
no, I think it's been really all since the beginning of the season. So all of 2022 season is the Rams' long played out funeral.
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude. So I mean, a lot of me and Damien talk a lot, and I mean the Rams right now, you know, they have their top end players. If they were smart about wanting to rebuild that team for long term success, they would trade their top end players, get a bunch of draft picks, and start rebuilding. So 2 or 3 years from now, they'd be competitive. But
Hey,
right
man.
now, they're going to keep the same players. They're going to just get 1 year older. Aaron Donald's not getting any younger. And I mean, you know, their cap situation, you know, they do have a little bit of room, but they can't sign impact players that will help them.
Mhm.
So it's what they're going to do is a big question. You know, Rudy seems to think, oh, we'll go all in again. We'll get this guy. We'll get this guy. Yeah, you can only get that guy if you can afford that guy.
And if 2 of those guys get hurt, then you're done.
Exactly.
But I mean, be a little careful what you say, man, because I actually do think that's what's going to happen this season is they're going to trade those guys away. So I don't think any more Jalen Ramsey. Aaron Donald's probably going to retire. What's his name? Matthew Stafford is probably going to be gone as well. I don't know what his contract looks like, but
I believe that, I don't know, but didn't they extend Matthew Stafford? I think they extended him.
probably
I think
after
they
the Super
signed him
Bowl.
until he's 37.
Probably after the Super Bowl, that's what happened. But like I said, I don't know what his contract is right now. Brian Culp says, I think the East will get 3 teams. I said it earlier, man. Even the Commanders are playing well right now. Could very well be like a NFC West situation last year where we had 3 teams going into the playoffs last year. So, yeah, that's a very real situation. Randy Daytona says, Kyle said he hasn't gotten word on Trey can return, if Trey can return yet. You think he's lying a little? Yeah, you got to kind of keep that close to heart, keep it close to chest. But you know, Trey Lance is walking around, he's jogging around a little bit already, babying the ankle still a little bit, but I think he has a chance to return this season.
He can be back probably by week 15 or 16 if we really, if they wanted him to be. I don't know if they want him to be.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be probably around, yeah, week
Matt
16
Stafford
or so.
contract. I'm actually searching his contract right now to see what this says.
Okay. MVP Schmidt One says, you guys have the run pass ratio from yesterday game. I think it was mostly pass, but no, I don't. Can you look that up, David?
Who?
The run pass ratio from yesterday's game. I forgot what it was. I did hear it, but I don't think
All
I
right,
wrote it
I'll
down.
do that right after I say this. Matthew Stafford signed a 4-year, $160 million extension with the Rams. He is signed till he's 37, and and his arm falls off.
It might fall off at the end of this year. Yeah. We're gonna look that up for you for MVP Schmidt. We're gonna look that up. Also, think they're not using CMC the right way. Brazilian Niners fan. Hey, that's what's up, man. Here. Great show, guys. Very informative. Really appreciate it, man. Thanks for tuning in. Great to have people from all over the place. That's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So we actually passed more than we rushed. We passed the ball 37 times. Oh, wow. That's kind of a 22, 27. We passed 37 times. We rushed the ball 29 times.
29.
I'd rather see a 22 to 40 something.
Yeah, that's like a
40 something rush.
That's like a 60-40 split.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they stacked the box. You know, the Saints were throwing everything they could at stopping the run and getting to Jimmy G.
Well, you know what? There's actually a play that I wrote down because, I mean, you know, over and over again, I've said it on this show that the 49ers have to pass to open up the run. So I understand what they're doing, man, because what I'm seeing, the eye test and really even the stats are showing that the offense, when they're in the shotgun pass, is producing because it's opening up the run game. I'm trying to find the play though. There was a play. I think it was actually with CMC. I think it was a play action pass. Went for like 13 yards or something, and the very next play, similar formation, CMC runs for like 9 yards or something. He had an explosive run. So that's exactly what I'm talking about, because that play action pass was on first down. And we saw that multiple times on this game. Like, the offense was producing, they just weren't getting points. So they were moving the ball pretty damn good. And then I think something that kind of played into it was the adjustment that the Saints had defensively was it was kind of weird, but they were kind of starting to bracket CMC and kind of cut off the underneath stuff. So that kind of made Garoppolo even more uncomfortable because he had to stretch the ball a little bit further downfield to midfield at least. So there was that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to see Jimmy G dropping back that much, especially when he's getting beat up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that doesn't help. That doesn't help things.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see what happens in the Dolphins game. Hopefully our offensive line is able to open up the run game.
And that's the thing where you worry a little bit, man, because Brian talked about it earlier with that play where he got hit in the knee and was laying down, grimacing, holding his knee, dude. Like, that was real. That wasn't for the refs. That was real shit. And so I was worried, man. I was like, man, are we we're gonna see Brock Purdy right now? Is that what's happening? So yeah, you're right. There is that too. So lean on that more when the offensive line is protecting at least a little bit better.
Yeah.
Rick Diaz says, I don't know about that. Anything can happen from here until that day. Yeah, these could change, and the guys got to do is be consistent every game, 100%. Let me see. And guys, anybody that's new to the channel, I appreciate all the new subs we got. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. But one thing I do in the comments, so that I can read all the comments that are specifically for me, is you guys, if you could throw 4 flames in your comment/question, so that it helps sift through the comments and know what questions and comments are specifically for us. That just helps with the narration of the video a little bit better. Brian Culp says, my wife said they are both hurt. Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert, I'm assuming, is who he's talking about. Yep, that's what I said. That's what I've heard. I don't know the extent of the severity when it comes to those two guys. So we're gonna have I still got to check it out. Like I said, I'm still kind of stuck on the Saints game. Gonna start diving into the Dolphins a little more throughout the week as we get closer and closer. But I'm not the 49ers. The 49ers, day one, right now, they have to dive into the Dolphins. We as fans, we get the luxury of being able to sit back, relax, and digest this game we just had and kind of delve into the next one. So, yeah, like I said, we get that luxury. The team doesn't. So I'm going to take advantage. JT says right matchup, nightmare with CMC in the slot out of audible or something, catching them in the wrong personnel. Yep, I love it.
Yeah, so I'm seeing the confirmation about Eli Mitchell's MCL. That sucks.
Oh man, sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the comment right here.
Breida time. He's with the New York Giants. Yeah.
Hey, I always love that guy, man. Breida was dope. Breida the cheetah, man.
He's with the Giants. He's a change of pace back.
I'm telling you, dude, he was no slouch. I don't understand why they let him go, but yeah, Elijah Mitchell. What's the thing on the injury? Because last I heard, it's probably going to be like 2 weeks.
Well, probably 2-3 weeks, something like that. I've had injuries that last a lot longer than that, though.
Yeah, that's the thing about nagging injuries. That's why
I'm not seeing anything on CMC. Guess we'll just have to wait.
No, CMC is supposed to be good. I think that's just a knee contusion. Same thing with Debo. He had the
I didn't see anything on him or Burford, and I mean Burford went off on his own power, and they put him in a boot just to be cautious.
Well,
and Kyle was saying it's not a high ankle sprain, so that that might be 2 weeks. But we do have Brunskill that can step in and play right now, so it's not like we'll be hurting too bad.
Well, Debo did have the hamstring contusion to his quad. He had a contusion to his quad, I believe it was, which is basically just a bruised quad. So I'm not worried about that. He should be fine for the Dolphins. The thing was, I didn't want him to play in this game unless we needed him. So, now he has one more bruise to deal with outside of the hamstring tear. Damian Lee says, I want Aaron Donald to make that trade. I doubt it, man. He can't stand the Niners, but we've seen where Sherman kind of, flip sides with that. So we'll see what happens. He already was contemplating retirement after the Super Bowl, so I could see him retiring. I can't even talk. Sorry, guys.
Well, I mean, the man's made his money. He's rich. If he uses it wisely, he don't need anymore. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind having Donald in the middle. Put him in the three technique. Have him and Bosa right together. That would literally be 4 members of their offensive line eating up, and who's going to block the other 2?
Yeah, 100. Well, the thing is, I don't know his contract. I don't know if he's a free agent, and I doubt the Rams would trade him to a division opponent.
They extended him. He would be mighty expensive, and we got to extend Bosa. So contract wise, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. There's that. I do remember them in the offseason extending him, but he was already contemplating retirement. And if he were to get traded, like I said, it wouldn't be to a division opponent. The 49ers most likely can't afford him, especially like if they're going to pay. I don't know what the plan is with Nick Bosa. They better pay him. But what they did with DeForest Buckner, hopefully they learned from that. So we'll see what happens. We got Rod Cowley in here. 247 says first time tuning in and nothing but love and respect. Hey, likewise, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it, man. Thanks. Great to see you here.
You know what? Speaking of having a long day, I gotta go cook dinner. I gotta be on CG's show in about 40 minutes.
Oh, the round check. Yeah, everybody go to CG Ruthless Sports Network at 7 Pacific. No, he didn't tell me anything about this week, so I'm kind of just on call. So we'll see what goes on with that. I believe 7 p.m. Pacific for CG Ruthless Sports Network. 49ers round check. So that's a round table talk with the 49ers fans. You guys go check that out at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
But yeah, David, I appreciate you, man, coming right after work and all that stuff on a long day, man. I know how it feels. So yeah, go have you some great hot dinner. I got to go soon too, guys. So
All right.
David,
Thanks for having me, buddy.
yeah, I'm gonna hit you up through email. So keep an eye on your email.
Okay.
Everybody, if you have any comments or questions, we're gonna let David go. Thanks, bro. Have a good night, man.
All right. You too.
If you guys have any comments or questions specifically for me before we go, I'm just going to answer the ones that have 4 flames. That's the thing with the comments faster, because I know people have back and forth throughout the comments. And when I have 4 flames in the comment slash question, then I know it's specifically for me or my co-host. So yeah, thank you everybody who's new here, everybody who's always the OGs here as well, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. It's awesome. And great to have new people here as well. Randy Daytona says Wolfpack growling. The Niner gang Wolfpack 100%, bro. Rod Kelly says he's out 6 to 8 weeks. And I've heard 2 weeks for Elijah Mitchell. That's what I've heard from a few sources. So we'll have to wait and see because it's not as severe. It's a similar injury to what he had earlier in the season, but from what I'm hearing, it's not as severe. So I'm going to have to double check the 6 to 8 weeks and see if there's any new reports on it. But even like David said right now, he looked it up and he couldn't get a conclusive answer on the amount of time. He just knows as well that it's the MCL sprain. So if you guys are wondering what the injury is, it's the MCL sprain. It's the time frame that's getting a little tricky. But, you know, I can't wait for Elijah Mitchell to be back. He's a crucial part of this offense. He's dope. So hopefully he gets better soon, but I do feel good. The silver lining is the running backs that we have, I feel confident in them. So that's the great thing about it, man. JP Mason, we've seen good things from TDP, but I think he's more of the bruiser. I think JP Mason is more dynamic and explosive. So I think CMC and JP Mason, it's going to be their show. And we'll see what happens with Tevin Coleman. He kind of went from second to last all the way to practice squad. So curious to see what happens with him. He might be the second guy behind CMC. We're just going to have to wait and see if he's activated this week. That's most likely what's going to happen. I doubt the 49ers are going to want 2 rookies and then CMC. They're probably going to want 2 veterans and 1 rookie. But who knows? They might activate all 4 running backs. We'll see. And actually, speaking of that, if you guys haven't seen the Chiefs, they signed free agent veteran Melvin Gordon today, which was a guy that I thought the 49ers should take a look at. I didn't get a great look at him from this season, being with the Broncos myself, but the Chiefs signed him. So he's over there with the Chiefs now. Fantastic. As if we didn't have enough to worry about. Just kidding. Let me see. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to go through the comments real quick, and then I'm going to close out the show in a couple minutes. So let me see. Rate the offense, defense, and special teams. I guess I'll do that out of 10 right now. So if we're talking about the whole season, let me see. Let's go defense first. 9.5 out of 10. I would say 9.5 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. For the fact that, okay, first of all, with the defense, they were great to start the season. Mosley went down. They had that period where they had to reacclimate to what was going on, not having Mosley anymore. And I feel like D'Amico Ryans and the defense has done a badass job figuring out the positions and schemes to better suit this defense since Mosley has gone down. On top of that, the defense is still struggling with mobile quarterbacks and even non-mobile quarterbacks that are deciding to scramble. You know, we saw what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name right now? We just played him yesterday. What do they call him? The Red Rocket? The damn quarterback for the Saints. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name right now. I hate when my mind goes blank, but they were letting him get out of the pocket. 49ers defense tends to struggle against mobile quarterbacks, and we're going to have to see them in the playoffs and even the Super Bowl. So they better get that fixed ASAP. If not, this offense better learn how to score points. Andy Dalton. Thank you, CG. Why? It's just my brain. I took too many punches to the head. I played football, took too many tackles to the head. Just kidding. No, not the football. I didn't take too many hits in football, but in boxing, I took a lot of punches to the head. So yeah, my mind goes blank sometimes. So I would say 9.5. So maybe 9.25 for the defense. Yeah, I'll give them a 9 just because of the struggles with the mobile quarterbacks. Special teams, 8.5. Let's give the special teams a 8.5 out of 10. Some of those field goals are almost they're very close to getting blocked. There's still a couple things I feel like the special teams could clean up, but overall they've been pretty damn good. So I think an 8.5 is a fair grade for them out of 10. The offense is just hit or miss, man. So it's like I'll give them a 7. I think that's being a little nice right now. The 49ers offense, they're moving the ball, but they're not scoring. So I think they can get a 7, and I think that's fair. If you guys disagree with me, let me know. I want all the smoke. And even if it's not smoke, if it's great conversation, let's talk about it. Guys, I will be tuned in tomorrow, streaming live with Vish Kamara from his YouTube channel. So if you guys don't know Vish, I'm sure you guys all know Vish Kamaran from Mondays with Vish, and he has his own channel with Vish Kamaran as the title, I believe. So you guys, if you guys haven't checked him out, check him out, and then come check us out tomorrow night at 7:30 Central Time. So 5:30 Pacific. I'll be on with Vish here on my channel. And yeah, should be a great show, man. Love to talk to Vish. He's a very smart guy. So yeah, excited for that. Go through a couple more comments and then we're gonna close out the show. 559ers says, and thanks for being here again, man. As always, Breida has a great backstory. Yeah, man, he was one of those guys that kind of claimed through the depth chart as well, and he got his shot and he made something out of nothing. And so, kind of similar to the Mostert stuff too, as well. So, love to see that. I hated to see him go, but some of those business decisions, I understand them. So it's just tough. But the 49ers are really good at developing players. So I'm excited to see what these rookie running backs are going to produce, even the cornerbacks as well, man. Like we're seeing it with the offensive line and guys like Aaron Banks and Diamador Lenore. Lenore. I feel like I was messing that up. Rod Kelly 247 says Mitchell is out for 6 to 8 weeks. Burford was day-to-day with a sprained ankle. Yeah, man. I was pretty confident about Burford because he walked out on his own strength. So yeah, it was just playing it safe with him. So we should be seeing him against the Dolphins. Should be good. As well as Armstead, man. That's exciting news. He was almost ready to go for this game. Hopefully by this coming week, he's going to be 100%. Because that plantar fasciitis is really tricky. So if he's at 100% and really confident in it, then let's ball out, man. I can't wait for it. Have Eric Armstead back and see how the D-line starts to perform with him back in the mix, man. It's going to be dope. JT says, hey, brother, watch the show Reservation Dogs on Hulu. Great show. I'm an extra in there. What the hell? Bro, I told you I was gonna try and get in that show, man. I know a few of the people in that show. But yeah, everybody, if you haven't seen, it's a native show, quote unquote. Well, it's Native Americans. I don't refer to us as being Native American because we were here before it was called America, but it's a native show called Reservation Dogs on Hulu. It's pretty damn good. I like it. I watch it all the time. Me and my lady, we kind of make a night of it. So yeah, guys, go check that out, man. That's a great suggestion. JT also says native love in Oklahoma. Yeah, bro. Hope you're having a great one, man. Glad you're doing good out there. Brian Culp says Vish. Yeah. I missed that cheetah too. And let me see a couple more comments. JT says Armstead will make a difference. Yeah, man, that's what I'm excited to see. So we're gonna have to wait and see it. I just hope he's 100%. That's gonna be the thing to look out for. Maryville AZ Brody. Hey, yeah, man, I'm in Flagstaff, so hell yeah, that's what's up. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in. This turned out to be a way longer video than it was supposed to be. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Please stop everything you're doing. Please like the video, subscribe, and turn on, hit the bell emoji for the notification so you get all notifications. You know, every time that I'm live and upload a video, please. So you guys can actually interact with me, agree with me, challenge me, disagree with me, whatever you want to do, as long as we interact. That's going to make for the greatest shows, greatest interactions, all that type of stuff, man. And can't wait to start seeing you guys at some games probably next year as well too, man. So everybody have a great night, man. I really appreciate all you guys. Take care. Go Niner gang.